Hello and welcome to the Football Lab podcast. I'm Chris Brooks. Welcome to this week's programme. This week we're discussing the fury around the European Super League that's been proposed by 12 clubs in Europe. Jose Mourinho has been sacked after only 17 months in charge of Spurs, and all the best games in the Premier League as well. I'm here with James. Hi, James.
Hi, Chris. How you doing?
I'm good. And Pete's here as well. Hello, Pete.
Hello, Chris. How are you?
All good. So let's start with, I think, what everyone's talking about, is the European Super League. It's the biggest story, I think, for a long time now. The idea is basically that it's going to be a 20-club league in Europe that's sort of exclusive. So 15 of the clubs have no relegation. They're there for life, and some of them are like Arsenal and Tottenham. A lot of people have said that they don't deserve to be there. So what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, basically, I don't like it. I don't like the idea at all. Clubs shouldn't go out themselves and create competitions. It's UEFA or FIFA jobs to do that. And even the president, UEFA president, Alexander Seferin, has branded this kind of competition as disgraceful. What do you think, James, about it?
Yeah, I hate the idea as well. I think that it's all about money for them. So it just takes away the fact that football was made by the poor, and it's the rich that are trying to hijack the game and use it for their own selfish greed. I mean, just simple as that, really. I think that it takes away the whole challenge that you try and get the top four.
Especially you brought out the businessmen, the owners. Ed Woodward, the Manchester United executive vice chair, and Juventus one. His name is Andrea Agnelli. He was also both of them were criticized by the UEFA president because they said to him just on Thursday that it's only rumors, and they went behind his back.
Yeah.
What do you think? Yeah, go on, James.
Yeah, sorry, I was just going to say that it takes away that challenge of trying to get into the top four, and a team like West Ham or Aston Villa or Everton trying to get Champions League football. Like, that's what you live for. That's what you dream for, is to get your team to the top. Look at Jamie Vardy. The guy went from Fleetwood Town to Leicester City. You live for that dream.
Yeah, I was thinking earlier. I mean, the idea of the competition is that it's only like massive clubs, basically. So it's like Inter Milan, Juventus, Real Madrid, Barcelona, the so-called Big Six, or the richest six, at least in England. And games between these clubs are not the best games I've ever seen. They're always drab 0-0s, aren't they? I think the best games I've ever been to, they're like playoff semi-finals in League One, or like 4-2 games between Stoke and QPR, like great games. And you're not going to get those games in this competition, so it's not good for football in any sense, I don't think.
Yeah, exactly. And what I like, how UEFA is trying to combat this by banning players from participating in this competition, in playing in Euro and the World Cup, and possibly other UEFA competitions, which I'm fully support of.
Yeah, exactly. So suspend them. Suspend, like Chelsea on Friday. There's talk that they'll suspend Chelsea, Man City, and Real Madrid, kick them out of the Champions League. But if you're going to award the Champions League to PSG, you need guarantee and legal writing and a legal binding document. PSG aren't going to just go behind their back and sign up in a year's time.
I think one thing that's so kind of I don't know what it is, but it's so telling is that German clubs have not signed up. So Bayern Munich, as Champions League winners from last season, obviously they're of a caliber where they could sit in this competition, but they're majority fan owned. So the fans clearly in Germany have said, we're not having this. It's not in the spirit of the game. And them and Dortmund and Leipzig have all said, we're not signing up.
I'm surprised that
the fans are clearly against it.
You don't like, sorry, Chris, you don't like Leipzig. You're like, oh, that's money bought, but at least they didn't join. They were offered.
Yeah. Well, that's how it is in Germany. I think the clubs are by law over half fan owned. So fans have a majority share in them. So yeah, that's I think why they've not signed up. And I'm surprised PSG haven't, although maybe they will in future. But I guess we'll just have to see.
But I think it will not survive. I think they will kill it. Fans will kill it. Football is made by fans, normal people, and if people are against it, and even UEFA is against it, then the clubs that agreed to join will crumble and be under pressure, and they will just quit. And I doubt it will go through at the end.
People would pay for that, though. People will pay to watch football. That's the problem.
Yeah, but there's so much football right now. There's a new competition coming soon as well. This is like preseason games. You get like Chelsea playing Real Madrid in the preseason in July. It's boring. There's no promotion, no relegation. No, I don't like it.
Yeah, I think as well, one thing that's key is that a lot of people said we'll boycott it, or they're going to stop following football or whatever. And Sky have had a lot of criticism from Gary Neville and Jim Carragher, etc., etc. But they'll clearly buy the rights if it's up for sale. If this happens, then Sky will buy the rights and people will watch it. So if the TV companies really, or I think are the biggest players, if they say, no, we're going to boycott it, and we're not going to have any say in this, I think that will really affect the clubs involved. And they'll think, oh, actually, yeah, this isn't going to get us any money, so we have to stop. I don't know if it's a real sort of, if it's actually going to happen, or if it's just a negotiating technique for more money in the Champions League. I don't know.
So how do we stop this thing? Like, how do we stop them from doing this? Because, like, they're saying they're going to get lawyers involved if they get kicked out of the Premier League, or demoted to the conference, or they get kicked out of the Champions League for next season. But they can't just be allowed to just do whatever they want and to just bully people, because that's what they're doing. They're essentially bullying their way to doing whatever they want.
Well, James, if fans gather around and they have also the back of the, as I said before, the bosses, then I don't think it will survive. Only 12 clubs at the moment have agreed to join. Well, yet again, in football, nothing surprises me, and it could stick maybe for one season, but I think many people will hate it, and it will not go through.
What if they like it? What if they like it?
I doubt if they will. I doubt they will. But if they like it, then I don't know. We'll see what the future. We can't predict the future. We'll see in the future.
I mean, some people have said in the media today, some clubs, I think Arsenal mentioned as one, don't really want to do it, but they've kind of jumped on the bandwagon. I think they're also hoping that if they threaten to leave Champions League or make a new league or whatever, they'll get more of a better deal in the new sort of Champions League that's been announced today with more teams, and they're hoping that they might get like an automatic place in the knockout stages, or have to pay or not have to play as many games or something. So perhaps that's what they're hoping for, and they're not serious about it. But you just never know. You don't know.
Well, basically, if you look at some of the teams like Arsenal and Tottenham, maybe they're doing it because they cannot get into Champions League.
Yeah, they're insecure. They're insecure. They can't get into the Champions League, so they're just being mardy.
But it's not all of them. We have Liverpool in there as well. We have 6 English teams, which is
and seven with Leicester. So 3 of them can't get in.
Leicester aren't.
Disappointing.
Leicester aren't in it.
It's disappointing.
No, but Leicester are in the top 4, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
and because true. 3 teams feel threatened that they can't get into the top 4, they want more money because they can't get into the Champions League.
All right, guys. Yeah. I think we should.
Well, I was just going to say. Sorry, go on. I was going to say. I don't know what will happen, but it's possible that football is going to get the way of darts. So in the early 90s, there was a split in darts, and I think it was the BDO who existed before that, or like professional darts organisation, and the PDC. It was formed, and players had to basically choose whether you want to be in BDO or the PDC, and you couldn't play in both. So it might be that football goes the same way. In the UK, in England, there's 2 leagues, like a league for the Super League clubs, and the Premier League carries on, and we'll have to watch 2 sort of tournaments will happen at the same time. We just don't know. I guess we'll have to see.
Well, yeah, we'll have to see. But right now, let's maybe move to the FA Cup semi-finals, which happened this weekend. James, what can you tell me about Leicester versus Southampton game?
Yeah, so Leicester dominated this second Wembley FA Cup semi-final, and it was the first pilot event to have fans back at the grounds. I think it was 4,000 fans, so that was a big boost for English football. And the tie was settled after Kelechi Iheanacho's second half strike. He struck at goal, it got rebounded, and he got it back in the back of the net. So it's Leicester's first Wembley final, first FA Cup final since 1969, and it represents a chance for Brendan Rodgers to win his first trophy in English football.
Yeah, that's interesting. With Kelechi Iheanacho, again, I think last week we were talking about him scoring 2 goals against West Ham. He's a key player for Leicester. You can see how much he delivers for the team. But the manager as well, Brendan Rodgers, investing into young players, and he was good back then in Celtic Glasgow, yeah, in the Scottish Premiership, and he improved since his departure when he was a Liverpool manager. And I think he's one of the best probably in English managers.
Yeah, he's a great manager. I think I agree. And even if you go back to his days at Swansea, it was his performance there that really sort of meant that he could get in into Liverpool, and he did so well there. All the clubs he's been at, Celtic, who is left now, have not won the league, which is normally sort of not that big, but it's quite a shock for Celtic. And Leicester now he's doing the same. So in the final, it would be interesting to see how they do. But after they won the league, I suppose can't rule anything out, can you? Anything can happen.
And Chelsea beating Manchester City, what's your thoughts on that, guys?
I thought it was not the best game in the world, but Chelsea deserved to win, I think. Normally, we're used to Man City playing better than any team they play, really. Especially on the left wing, I think Chelsea were really strong. Ben Chilwell. They had 2 goals ruled out, which is probably fair. They were offside. Man City really didn't break them down in the attack, and they didn't really have many sort of clear-cut chances. So I think Chelsea were right to win, and Man City, sadly, were just not the better team.
Yeah, well, basically, it's out for Manchester City. It comes to the quadruple. They will not have the quadruple again. But I think they don't care too much about it. They're focusing on Champions League and Premier League. They really desperately want Champions League because obviously they never won it, and they're getting closer each year. So yeah. It's not a surprise. It's a small surprise, but it's not like Chelsea is doing great. You know, Thomas Tuchel's team he changed this team after taking over from Frank Lampard.
Yeah, I mean the quadruple. I never really thought they'd win it in the first place. I think Champions League is tough for them, especially this year where there's Dortmund who in it still, and you know PSG who in it. It's going to be a tough, not Dortmund, sorry, Real Madrid. So there's good teams still left in it. A lot of people, I think, sort of thought quadruple was all settled and done, but certainly not. And going to have a tough job winning in Europe. So, you know, and they always have done. So quadruple, I think, really going to need a better team than that to win that sort of competition. But a good side. Nonetheless,
okay,
they're a legendary side.
So who does everyone think is going to win the FA Cup?
Chelsea.
I'd go for Chelsea, but I think Leicester will give them a good game.
Yeah.
I think Leicester will get a goal, so maybe 2-1 or 3-1 to Chelsea.
2-1.
What do you say, Pete?
2-1 Chelsea for me, I think. It's not going to be easy game for Chelsea. It's going to be very equal level today.
Yeah. I hope Leicester win. I like Leicester. I think
Good if Leicester won.
I want Leicester to win.
First time since the 60s. Yeah.
I like an underdog to win because Chelsea won it a lot. Won it 8 times.
But at least it's not Arsenal.
Yeah, I don't mind Arsenal.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. I think Chelsea are the favourites there.
We'll have to see, I suppose. But yeah, Leicester are a really good side, aren't they? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
In the Premier League, though, it was an interesting weekend, wasn't it? So Newcastle, West Ham was a big game for West Ham. Were looking for the top 4. What do you think about that game, Pete?
Yeah, this game was really good. I didn't expect it to be such a thriller. A very important game for Newcastle, a crucial win, which helps them now stay really in Premier League. Doubt they will go down now, especially with West Ham, Fulham drawing with Arsenal as well. And West Ham is also a crucial loss for them because Chelsea might now overtake them. What do you think, James?
Yeah, huge win for Newcastle. So that brought them a 9-point cushion between them and the relegation zone. As you say, Fulham were up against Arsenal 1-0 until Arsenal equalised in the last minute. So that does look as if it's kept Newcastle up. And for West Ham, it's a blow to their top 4 hopes.
In the game, though, I think West Ham missed Declan Rice. I think he was sent off, wasn't he? So, I mean, he's a key player for them. I think they missed him. I didn't think we're that well organised at the back. It was a weakness for them. And both Newcastle goals really were mistakes at the back for West Ham. A Sam Maximan goal. It was not, it was not an obvious sort of chance. It was only from a mistake that happened. It was the same. The second one.
Chris Rice didn't play. Rice was in the stands. He's injured.
Yeah, well, I think. Yeah,
You mean Craig Dawson?
But he didn't
Craig
play.
Dawson was sent off. Oh right, okay.
But yeah, as you say, Chris, I think for West Ham, the keeper let them down. Fabianski was good for West Ham throughout the season, but this game, I think, was his fault that they lost. Oh, the defense was also sloppy, but I think it goes down to the keeper for the most blame. Like the first goal, his save wouldn't help West Ham not lose a goal because Longstaff was there to just put it in. So I wouldn't blame Diop for that own goal.
You love Fabianski. He's Polish.
So what, James? He's Polish. I don't know all Polish people.
Such as Fabianski.
He's a good keeper. I like him. Better than Szczesny at the moment, I think.
There's talk that Spurs want to sign Szczesny.
No, he will not go there. But Fabianski's like 35 now, so close to the end. Anyway.
Wow. Oh,
yeah, a lot of people seem to put the a goal as Diop, as a Diop own goal, the first goal. A lot of people said it was an own goal. For me, it's going anyway. If him and Fabianski don't touch it, it's going to go in. So
yeah, because Longstaff,
it's not an own goal for me. It's still a kind of
it was
Longstaff's goal. Yeah.
Very bad positioning from the defense and Fabianski as well. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah. Sorry, go on.
Go on. No, you finish it.
Well, I was going to say it was a great finish. Okay, I mean, if you think it was 2-0 at Newcastle, and then they brought it back in last 15 minutes. West Ham, I suppose they'll say they're unlucky not to get a draw, but even so, at that sort of level, a draw is not really good enough, is it? They need a win really, but yeah, it was a great finish with 3 goals in the last sort of 15, 20 minutes. And the West Ham second goal was a penalty, I think. It was a penalty. It was the right sort of decision. So that was fair, I think, for me.
Yeah, it's basically Newcastle. They're staying up. What about, this game didn't happen. Leeds versus Liverpool. James?
Yeah, this is tonight at 8:00, and it should really open the door for Liverpool. Big chance for them to climb their way into the top 4 on goal difference. But now I feel like with this whole Super League drama going on, I'm thinking it's going to be a loss or a draw. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, the players are obviously going to be distracted by that, aren't they? But I can see. I'm sure that Klopp will get asked about Super League and that he's not too sort of keen on it. I'm sure he'll want his players not to be too sort of distracted by that, but there's no so much you can do to avoid that. But Leeds are a good side, and in the last leg, the last sort of fixture where it was a really close game, it was a great game on the first day of the season. It just showed Leeds aren't on a side to be sort of seen badly. They're a good side and 10th now in the league, so if they get top half, it'd be a really good sort of result for them. So it'd be interesting, but I think Liverpool might edge it, say 3-2. I think.
What do you think, B?
I think that Liverpool will win this game. I don't think that Leeds will win another big game like they did against City. They're kind of lucky there. Liverpool, although, will be distracted by the Super League drama, but I think they want to kind of hide that drama behind a good performance and being kind of revenging the loss against Real Madrid. So, start winning again. And it's hard to say, but I think it's going to be 2-0 Liverpool.
Okay.
Maybe
Yeah.
these would be invited to the Super League. About as good as Arsenal, aren't they? So
Chris, that's a bit cheeky.
you never know.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna say 1-1, but that's a good way of hushing them up. It's like, all right, everybody, does everyone want to join the Super League? There's going to be 100 teams.
Yeah, maybe they'll just kind of invite all clubs in existence, and then they'll say, "Oh, it's okay."
Charlton Athletic, everyone want to join?
Yeah, Eastleigh FC. Oh, we're in as well now.
Everyone's going to join. Yeah.
Yeah, so that'd be good. Well, I guess big story now in the Premier League, outside of the European leagues, is Spurs, isn't it? So, what do you reckon about all that, James?
Yep, our team of the week, everyone, is Spurs for this week, and huge news that Jose Mourinho has been sacked this morning, which does seem to be a huge connection with the European Super League, because from what I'm hearing, he refused to take the players to training, and he actually stood up for his fans. So kudos to him there. And Daniel Levy sacked him.
Yeah, well, it's possible, isn't it? I mean, I wouldn't really expect it from Mourinho, but if you're standing up for fans in that sort of aspect, then yeah, good on him. But against Everton, I suppose Spurs will sort of see that with the trigger and they'll say that's why he's been sacked. But draw against Everton, I don't think it's a bad result. Both teams played really well. I think a draw was a fair result. You both had good chances. And it was a great game. Both their goals, a bit like West Ham, came from mistakes. So, I suppose you can be relieved in that sense that mistakes happen. But the draw, I don't think, is a bad result against Everton. Not by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, I think draw isn't that bad against strong Everton this season. But again, Tottenham desperately need win. They need to collect more points. They haven't won a game since 21st of March, and that was Aston Villa away. So they are kind of dropping down from top 4. I doubt they will get top 4. Maybe even not. They will not make it into the top 6, which is, I think, their kind of now aim. And again, Harry Kane saves Spurs. Imagine Spurs without Harry Kane. They would definitely lose more games, and they would be probably like below 10th position, whereas in Arsenal even. Well, they cannot rely too long on Kane. What do you think, James?
Well, they've lost to all of their rivals this year into 2021. Lost to Man United 3-1, lost to 2-1 to Arsenal, and also lost the London derby to West Ham, lost to Manchester City, lost to Liverpool. So they've lost the big matches. So I think that's also where it's gone wrong for Mourinho this season. I think the high point for them was beating Man City 2-0 back in the autumn, and they were top of the table for a short time, but very few highlights for Mourinho, really.
But Kane is a big loss for them, isn't he? I mean, trying to get in the Champions League now. I suppose I haven't got to worry about it now. If the Super League starts up, don't worry about getting the Champions League. It's automatic. But without Kane.
But Mourinho didn't lead them into the Super League.
Yeah, I think that Kane will leave probably Spurs. I think he will have enough of it as well. I know he's kind of dedicated to the club, but he will want to win more trophies, and I think his time to go to somewhere better is approaching really fast. Son as well. I can't see them staying, and Spurs needs a real revamp. Jose Mourinho, well, I think his tactics are a bit maybe outdated, or maybe he cannot communicate well with the players like Dele Alli and Pogba. What do you, in Man United, remember Pogba? What do you think, James?
Yeah, interesting you say that, because Paul Pogba came out last week and was saying he had a really good relationship with Mourinho at the start, and then that disintegrated near the end. And he was saying Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will never criticise his players, but Mourinho's done that so much this season. He's been like, "Oh, I'm a good coach. it's the player's fault, not the coach, or the coach is the same. I can't remember the exact.
Same coach, different players. You said.
Yeah, the same quote you said, but it's always him blaming the players, and there's just too much friction there, I think.
Yeah, well, I agree. I think he was a good manager in the noughties at Chelsea in his first and second spell, really.
In 2000s as well. The 2000s.
Yeah, in the 2000s, 2010s, but he's just kind of. I think he's lost it now. When he was at Man United, he never really had second place one season, I think, and he won Europa League. But I mean, you don't really get anything with that sort of thing these days. It's not really enough to keep you in a job. And if you look at other managers at the moment, Klopp and Guardiola, winning Premier Leagues and European Cups and trebles and stuff, and he's just not got any of that sort of ability anymore. And I think he'll struggle to find a new club. But against Everton, I think, Kane specifically, whoever comes in next, I'm sure it won't be, person who's taken over temporarily. I'll find it hard to get in the top four.
I don't think that Jose Mourinho will be difficult for him to find a job necessarily. Maybe not in a bigger club. Maybe not even in England. Maybe he needs to go somewhere else and maybe have a break from the Premier League. Maybe have a vacation holiday. Who knows? But I like Mourinho still anyway. He's a good coach. What he achieved in the 2000s, it's a shame that he kind of went downhill, but hopefully he can pick himself up again. As to the next manager for Spurs, I think Julian Nagelsmann will take over. Who do you think, Chris?
Yeah, and quite possibly. I don't know. It'd be hard for them, I think. I think after they sacked Pochettino, it was always going to be a bit of a sort of downhill slope, and he was a great manager, but it's hard to replace him. So I'm not really sure who will take over, but there's a lot of good managers out there. I'm sure they'll be looking, but I wouldn't expect got anyone lined up already. When Pochettino was sacked, it was like within hours, Mourinho was announced. So obviously that's not happened this time. So I'd expect there's going to be a little bit more of a time. But I just don't know.
I think they'll probably get Eddie Howe's a possibility. I think they should maybe get Ledley King. I think it'd be quite good to get a player in as coach, because I mean Chelsea did that with Frank Lampard, and he did okay, I guess. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, everyone was saying back in October, November when Man United were like 15th, Solskjaer was going to get sacked, and then look at him sort of winning virtually every game. So going down that route of having a player as a manager or former player, I think that might be a popular.
Yeah, Ledley King is the assistant manager now, isn't he? So it'd be a sort of obvious choice. I'm surprised he's not caretaker, I suppose, because he clearly knows the team fairly well, and he's got a little bit of experience in coaching there. So why he's not taken over now does surprise me. But we just have to see, I suppose. Perhaps I'll wait until over the summer and then appoint somebody. I suppose that might make more sense.
Yeah, we kind of drifted away from the game, though. What do you think? How Everton played? 2 goals from Gylfi Sigurdsson, 1 from the penalty. Do you think it was clear penalty, Chris?
Yeah, I think it probably was. I think Rodriguez is pushed over, actually. I think it was a penalty in my view. So I think that was fair. But I think as well in the box, you've got to be if you're not even a defender, but on the defending side, you've got to be careful, and you know that if you almost just touch a player, they're going to go over. Even if you don't, actually sort of force them over, they're going to make the most of it, and it's going to be a penalty. And I mean, you should have known that, Gilon. So I think it was a penalty, and it was good that Everton scored it. So I was pleased about that.
Yeah, actually, I think that Everton was a better team in that game. Even if you look at the stats, 18 shots compared to 12 shots. Everton 18. Shots on target as well, 7-3. Position of the ball is also bigger with Everton. More passes, better football from Everton. So actually, Tottenham has to be happy with that draw because they really could have lost it. What do you think, James, of the Everton performance and Tottenham?
Yeah, Everton were always going to be a difficult team for Spurs to face, very close in the table to each other. A Carlo Ancelotti team was always going to be a difficult ask to win. I think Harry Kane saved them there. So really, he's indispensable. Really, they can't afford to lose him, and they're lucky that he came up with the goods, equalised when he did.
Yeah, definitely. I think they'll be looking for Europa League now, won't they? I think they'll, if they get that, we're really pleased. I mean, at the start of the season, they did do really well, but I think Champions League was always a little bit of a push for them. Yes, Europa League for Everton, I think, would be a great sort of a great into the season and really sort of do them well into next season. So hopefully, for them at least, they can get above Tottenham and to sixth place for the spot in the Europa League. Because I mean, if either Leicester, Chelsea win the FA Cup, their spot in the the Europa League goes to sixth place, doesn't it? So.
Yeah, like as you say, I think they should aim to win Europa League first before moving to Champions League, because now, even in this season, look, they were knocked out by Dinamo Zagreb, which is fair play to them. Good team. The Croatian league is also going like increasing in players, and they produce good players. But still, Tottenham should be winning the game, especially when they won the first leg 2-0, to lose 3-0, and they are not Champions League ready.
Invite Dinamo Zagreb to the Super League.
Yeah, Dinamo Zagreb, Leeds, Everton, Arsenal.
West Brom.
Like an Intertoto Cup or something.
Sheffield United should be in it.
Definitely.
Chris Wilder, your mate Wilder.
Oh, yeah,
Wilder.
What a great guy. I think
he's in the chippy.
Yeah, but with Spurs now, I think their best chance of getting into the Europa League is the League Cup final on Sunday. If they can win that, guaranteed a Europa League spot, I think. So, in the league, it'd be a much harder job to get into a top 6 or top 7. So I think that's their best chance.
I think it's going to be even hard for them to get into Europa League. Slowly maybe moving towards the Carabao Cup final on Sunday. Well, that's maybe the only choice option to get to that competition. But Man City, it's going to be a hard game.
It's going to be a tough game, I'm sure. And Man City's strength in depth is, I think, what has let them win League Cup on so many years in a row. So they've won it the last 2 years or 3 years now, I think. And I think it's because they have such a good sort of reserve side. Teams obviously almost always play their sort of second team in the League Cup, big teams at least. So the fact that their second team could get in the top 4 sort of by themselves, I think that's why they're so sort of often winning competition. So I think I'd pick Man City for that. But Tottenham will be up for it. But with a new sort of temporary manager, we don't know what's going to happen, I suppose.
Managerless Spurs. It's going to be like 3-0 to Man City.
Yeah, well, basically the next manager who will come to Spurs will have to pick up the team from Rubbles, basically. It's going to be very difficult, especially going to a final against Manchester City. I don't think that Pep Guardiola's team is going to be so, let's say, nice as they were to Chelsea. I think they will try to win this game, and it's not even going to be hard, I think, for them. But fair play to Tottenham to get into the final. That's a huge improvement. And taking into account where they are right now, even if they lose, then it's understandable. They need to build up again the team and look somewhere else with Harry Kane and Son might leave.
Yeah, like you say, it's an achievement getting to the final, and it is, but second place and finals don't sort of get you anywhere, do they? And that's where they've been trolled this week by Dulux, I suppose, and that's not been a good look for them. Their trophy cabinet is empty, and you don't keep your runners-up medals. Rio Ferdinand said that his runners-up medals are not know where they are. They've got no idea where they are because they don't keep them. So I think in order to sort of make something of this, you're gonna have to win it. Like if you think of second places, not things that you remember.
So what chance has Spurs
I'll
got
look back.
then? What chance have they got of winning?
25,
5%? 2%?
no, 25%. They're still
25?
They're still a good team, but I'll say 3-1 Manchester City.
But both
Would it-
sides have got a midweek game as well. So we're tired from that. Tottenham playing Southampton on Wednesday and City are playing Aston Villa on the same day. So I'm sure they'll be tired. So I think Man City having that strength in depth will really help them. So I'd pick them 2-0, I'd say.
Man City without Kevin De Bruyne and Harry Kane is an injury doubt.
Oh, well, you know, if Harry Kane doesn't play, I think 10% chance of winning then. No, City has
Very statistical.
City has a good team, and they don't want to lose another competition. You know, they let go of the FA Cup. I think they want to focus on the Cup. You know, they're in a final. They might as well just win it. I know it's easy to say, but it's City at the end of the day. But this season, they're great. But can you say more? You can't say more about them.
Yeah, I'm going to say 2-0 Man City.
Well, I agree. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll talk about that next week. In a week's time, we're going to preview the Champions League games. Semi-finals next week is Man City and PSG. The battle of the big sort of money clubs. That'll be a great game. Real Madrid, Chelsea, the same week. We're going to be previewing that too. We're also going to go through reforms that are going to be in the Champions League in 3 years' time. There's going to be more teams in the Champions League and the sort of process, the group stages, the knockout stages. That's all going to change as well. So we're going to discuss that in a week's time as well. And there'll be sort of more developments on the Super League, I'm sure, the European level. That story is not going away, and we'll see if then that's more clubs or if there's more sort of information on what money goes to lower league clubs. I'm sure that's going to carry on. And this week, I'll be the week with Spurs. Next week, it's going to be Leeds. So it'll be really interesting to talk about how Marcelo Bielsa has brought that team up in the Championship. And we'll have a guest on to sort of go into that in more detail. So before us next week, it'll be a great sort of week to talk about those stories. So we'll see you very soon. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. See you.
Yep. Thank you.
Bye-bye.